Emmerdale's Charity Dingle has finally found the courage to speak about the horrifying ordeal she endured at the hands of Dr. Todd. Over the last few episodes, the sinister doctor subjected Charity to unimaginable pressure, initially trying to blackmail her over baby Layla's parentage, before later sexually assaulting her. Dr. Todd's control over Charity eventually came to an end, following her accidental death at the hands of Sarah Sugden. However, the nightmare is nowhere near finished, as Charity has chosen to take the blame for Todd's death in an attempt to shield her granddaughter. With police scrutiny intensifying, fresh evidence has emerged that could potentially harm both Charity and Sarah if the case reaches court. In tonight's episode, 13th August, Charity finally opened up about the suffering she experienced because of Dr. Todd. DS Ramsden questioned Charity over why she had kept quiet about Jacob's involvement with Todd. Charity explained that she did not consider it significant when compared with what Todd had done to her. The detective then raised Jacob's previous complaint about Todd's bullying. Charity and her solicitor tried to reject any suggestion that Sarah had been connected to Todd, but DS Ramsden remained unconvinced and warned that Sarah could be brought back for further questioning. Later, Sarah waited at the police station for Charity to emerge. She explained that she had only come to make sure her gran was okay, but discovered that Charity had already been released. When DS Ramsden asked Sarah for a brief conversation, she refused, prompting the officer to give her a suspicious glance. Charity and Sarah later joined the rest of the family at the Woolpack, where everyone wanted to know exactly what had happened. Clearly uncomfortable, Charity attempted to leave, but Kane stopped her and demanded the truth. "What are you not telling us?" Kane asked. "She raped me," Charity finally confessed. "She assaulted me, if that helps you understand it." Kane tried to find out more about the attack, but Charity pleaded with him to let her discuss it another time. Sarah later revealed that Charity had previously reported the assault, although the case had eventually been abandoned because there was not enough evidence. When Charity returned, the family members apologized to her. Charity, however, refused to dwell on their apologies, insisting that there was nothing anyone could change, and that they simply had to carry on with their lives. Later, Mackenzie Boyd, who had been nearby, found Charity upstairs and spoke privately with her. Charity repeated the same account of what had happened, although it appeared that Max still had his reservations. The question now remains, what will happen when the real truth about Charity, Sarah, and Dr. Todd's death is finally exposed? Dawn and Billy's Emmerdale exit storyline confirmed as tragedy approaches. Dawn has decided that she no longer wants a future with Joe Tate, and instead plans to reunite with Billy after her former partner revealed that Joe had supposedly attacked him at the depot. However, Joe is actually innocent this time. The real culprit behind Billy's hospitalization was Kev Townsend, who had gone to the depot after discovering that his friend Steve intended to rob the premises. When Billy unexpectedly interrupted them, Kev grabbed a crowbar and attacked him. Ruby Milligan later discovered through the CCTV footage that Kev was responsible. However, she had the recording erased as part of her scheme to make Joe appear guilty. Ruby and Caleb Milligan are now working together to help Billy and Dawn arrange their escape, hoping that their departure will leave Joe with nothing. While at the hospital, the couple learned that new passports could be arranged for Dawn, Billy, and the children. Dawn suggested that they should start a new life in Spain, although Billy initially appeared uncertain about the idea. A later visit from Joe eventually convinced Billy to change his mind. He told Dawn to contact Ruby and ask for her assistance, confirming that they would soon be leaving for Spain. Although reports have claimed that Olivia Bromley is set to leave her role as Dawn Taylor, there has been no confirmation that Jay Consul will also be departing as Billy Fletcher. This has only increased speculation that Dawn and Billy may not receive the happy ending they are hoping for. So, what exactly does the future have in store for Dawn? Jimmy's future shattered by cruel twist as another Emmerdale tragedy looms. Things are already difficult for Jimmy, with his wife steadily losing feelings for him after accusing him of being unfaithful and complaining that he has little romantic instinct. Now, however, his business is about to suffer a devastating financial blow. It is already known that Jimmy will eventually leave the soap in a body bag, and the collapse of his business could be the beginning of his tragic downfall. Nicola soon recognizes that the B&B is struggling badly, meaning Jimmy must make the haulage business work. He manages to land a lucrative new contract which could provide the money they desperately need to stay afloat. But Ruby and Caleb Milligan have a very different plan in mind. One that could potentially bring Jimmy's entire business crashing down. Ruby decides to interfere with Jimmy's latest contract by using blackmail against Kev Townsend. She possesses evidence proving that he attacked Billy Fletcher and left him seriously injured. If she hands the evidence over to the authorities, Kev could find himself back behind bars. Ruby therefore forces Kev to carry out a job designed to sabotage Jimmy. The situation is particularly uncomfortable for Kev because Jimmy is Nicola's husband, while he is also trying to repair his own relationship with Nicola because of her connection to his son. Despite his frustrations, Kev has little choice but to follow Ruby's orders. However, he becomes furious when he discovers that the shipment he has stolen contains nothing more than nappies, around 3,000 of them. In the process, Kev has managed to upset the very people he was hoping to impress, while ending up with nothing useful to show for his efforts. Will Ash has explained how the complicated scheme is intended to work. The arrangement means Jimmy continues receiving what appears to be his normal income because he is supposedly being paid a large amount for the deal. However, the money and paperwork are being manipulated behind Nicola's back. On the surface, Jimmy continues collecting a regular wage, making everything appear normal to Nicola. But the documents carry Caleb's name, revealing that the entire arrangement is actually a carefully planned setup. When Nicola eventually discovers what has really been happening, could this finally become the final straw for her? Could her anger spiral out of control and accidentally lead to Jimmy's death? Or could the storyline take an even more sinister turn, with mounting financial pressure and the collapse of his marriage pushing Jimmy towards a tragic decision of his own? Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.